come in peace. We come in peace.
Oh, my sunshine, my only sunshine, you make me happy.
One of the most defining parts of my childhood was horror. Whether it be games, movies, or creepypastas online, I hated horror. I still don't like it, but I'm a big, strong man now who only has real fears like college and women. When I was younger, though, just about anything scared me, women then too. I don't know why I was so easily frightened, but I was. I was like a rabbit who'd faint just at the sound of a board creaking, which coincidentally, there is and always has been a squeaky board right under my door that has haunted me for years. It got to the point that I just didn't sleep, like at all. I pulled all-nighters sometimes multiple times a week. Most nights would go something like this. Okay. I haven't slept in 3 days, but tonight is the night. Let's get it. Yeah, nah. Flip that. No way. Better luck tomorrow. I told my mom about my inability to sleep, and she said to me that reading makes you tired. I don't know if she was just tricking me into reading since that was nerd behavior that I did not take part in, or if she just thought, reading is extremely boring, so he'd just fall asleep from pure boredom. Either way, I'm gonna spoil it. It didn't help. With my sleeping, that is. Basically, most nights, I just stay awake and read. Biggest nerd behavior ever, and it's honestly why I don't like reading now. I associate it with fear for my life and insomnia. I remember reading the entire My Weird School series in like a month because it got so bad. Which I gotta say is a banger series. The only book I remember though is Mr. Sunny is Funny because the hex spawn, that is Andrea Young, almost drowned. Almost. I stopped reading after that tease. Anyways, moving on to some of the many things that traumatized me as a child, I gotta start with my boy Chucky. He was the bane of my existence. I remember first seeing him while sitting on the couch when my dad had Child's Play on. I only started watching about halfway in, so I had no idea that this movie was about a killer doll. I just saw people driving for like 5 minutes, then all of a sudden this doll popped out of nowhere and unalived them. Again, looking back on it, it wasn't that scary, but when you're a child that doesn't know he's watching a horror movie, then a toy, which as a child you are supposed to love, doesn't act like that, it messes you up, man. It changes you. That was my first real introduction to horror, and it only gets worse from there. I want to make it clear just how much trauma I got from sitting on that couch and watching horror movies with my dad. Or should I say accidentally watching horror movies. I was just a bored kid, man. I needed something to do. Sometimes my dad would be watching absolutely lovely movies like Rango or Flushed Away, so I trusted his judgment in cinema selection. Oh, what a fool, what a simpleton I was. I didn't learn my lesson after Child's Play. No. It didn't take until several movies later and several more stains on my innocent childhood to realize, hey, maybe I should just ask him what he's watching before I watch it. The next movie to scar me was Mars Attacks, which I'm only now just finding out it's not even a horror movie. It was a comedy movie. Funny, oh man, a comedy movie. Wow, a comedy movie kept me awake for months. I was pathetic. These goofy brain sacks were the scariest thing imaginable for 8-year-old me. I don't even want to talk about this anyone. I can't speak. I'm so embarrassed. I'm moving on. The next movie is Killer Clowns from Outer Space. I watched this one when I was somewhat older as a very sophisticated 10-year-old. I was pretty clever and knew how the world worked by then. I knew these silly little clowns were nothing but people in costumes. You can't fool me, Hollywood. You can still make me very scared though. Oh my god, this movie was terrifying. Dude, look at how grotesque these things are. I already thought that normal clowns were scary. Imagine my eyes when I saw clowns that were supposed to be scary. Oh no! Poor gay! Oh, I hated it. And don't get me started on the cotton candy cocoons. Oh man. I've never looked at cotton candy or clowns the same again since then. Lucky for me though, I watched this movie during the 2016 killer clown pandemic. You know, do you remember that? When a bunch of people would dress up as clowns and walk around at night? Because I do. I remember it. People wonder why our generation doesn't like to go outside. It's because of that, man. We were traumatized of leaving our house before we even had the chance to leave it. I hate clowns. It's needless to say, I didn't sleep very well for a while after that. This was also about the time I stopped watching horror movies. I just knew I couldn't handle them, and I hadn't slept well for like 3 years at that point, so something needed to change. I needed to learn some self-control. And so I did. I saved myself from the trauma of watching horror movies. But I didn't save myself from YouTube horror. Oh man, did this stuff mess me up. YouTube was a whole other world when it came to tainting my childhood. Other than the brain rot that I'd watched, like Sonic Gangnam Style, I found myself neck deep in creepypastas, which were much worse for me than the movies. Hooray for stupid kid me. The big boys I'm going to talk about are these two, Jeffy Boy and Slender Man. Oh wow, did these two haunt me. I never really got involved with Jeff. I would just see his face and instantly soil my trousers. I didn't dare click on a video if I knew he was in it. Genuinely one of the scariest images I have ever seen. It would literally raise my heart rate and turn my stomach whenever I saw it. On one of the rare nights when I actually slept, I dreamt of being in my room and hearing something outside my window. I slowly crept over and opened the blinds. I was met with one of the most vivid images I have ever seen, and it's still ingrained into my memory. It's gonna sound a little goofy, but it was Milhouse from The Simpsons as Jeff the Killer. I tried my best to recreate the picture. It's not perfect, but you get the idea. That was a really bad night for me. I woke up like how movie characters wake up when they get scared, sitting straight up, eyes wide, panting, soaked in sweat, and in need of new pants. I will never forget that night, which is something you usually say when you like go on a date with the love of your life or something, but nah, it was just me and Milhouse Jeff. The next trauma titan for me was Slender Man. I think this has gotta be common for most Gen Zers. This guy was absolutely everywhere, and he was absolutely spooky. From the game to animations to rap battles, he was the first real face of mascot horror. I bet if I was born a little later, things like Baldi, Five Nights at Freddy's, or Huggy Wuggy would have haunted me as a kid. So I'm glad I only got the OG himself, but oh boy, was he a lot to handle. Other than the basics like not sleeping, he made me scared of something nothing else did. I was absolutely appalled by the dark. I would sooner keel over and die than go somewhere with the lights off. This meant I only really felt scared at night. Slender, though, didn't need the dark. He just needed to exist. My every waking moment was spent fearing over this guy, because I know if I let my guard down, even for just a second, he'd do his weird static thing, and I didn't really like that, and abduct me or something. It's honestly, it's been a while. I don't remember every single detail. I just knew he was the worst, and I didn't really like him. I didn't like him that much. I also never really saw the 2018 movie because like, who did? It came out 5 years after he was popular. Ain't nobody gonna watch that. Come on, Sony? The Spider-Verse guys? They made this garbage? And wait, Jazz Sinclair was in this movie? The girl who played Marie in Gen V? Hey guys, all I'm saying, hey, maybe this movie wasn't that bad, guys. Hey, all I'm saying, maybe it wasn't that bad. I'm putting this at the end because it's embarrassing and hopefully most people have clicked off by now. But I slept on my parents' floor until I was about 12, or in the 7th grade. I was that much of a baby. I could not sleep in a room alone. I just literally could not. No joke. The only reason I stopped was because this girl that I like started to talk to me, and I know if I told her or if she found out that I slept on the floor of my parents' bedroom, things probably wouldn't really have worked out. It didn't work out anyways, but that's because we were 12 and in middle school, but I take that reason over the other any day. Nowadays, though, I've matured and realized that none of those things are real, so why should I be scared of them? I was partly joking earlier, but things like college, taxes, and women, which are all very real, are much, much scarier than anything fictional. So if you learned anything from this video, it should be this.